We want to get back to some breaking news we just had, because Apple's shares have quickly been turning negative. We, of course, seen the rest of the benchmarks pulled lower by the juggernaut that is Apple. Apparently, there's reporting that it's cutting production of the iPhone 14 Plus. This is all according to the information, though. So let's get our expert on the ground to detail how much we should be looking into this. Mark Gurman is live from Los Angeles. What do you make of the reporting, Mark?
I think we've talked about it a few times on this program. The regular iPhone 14 and 14 Plus, those are, in my mind, duds, right? I'm not really sure why anyone would purchase an iPhone 14 or iPhone 14 Plus. The Pro models are so much better, the 14 Pro and 14 Pro Max, and the price differences are pretty minimal. The 14 and 14 Plus, those are mid-range phones priced at the top of the market, or nearly at the top of the market. And they're incredibly minor updates when you look at the iPhone 13, the iPhone 12 before that. So I'm not surprised to see that they're cutting production in those models. We reported a few weeks ago that the production estimates through the rest of 2022 calendar year would come in lower than Apple had originally been anticipating. So this all adds up to me. And if you're a consumer, right, the installment payments are only a few dollars more a month to go to the Pro.
Well, help us do the math here, Mark. I mean, because let's assume that those models are duds, the Plus and the original one are duds here. Is there a sense, though, that the people that would have maybe been in the market for those lower-end models are actually trading up to the Pro, or are they going maybe just to another brand altogether, or just holding on to their old phone?
Yeah, this is exactly the point I was just going to make. Just because you're not buying an iPhone 14 Plus doesn't mean you're not buying an iPhone, right? I think people realize that for $100 more, you can get an iPhone 14 Pro instead of the iPhone 14 Plus. Or for $200 more, you can get an iPhone 14 Pro Max. Or for $5 more a month, you can get those higher models. So I don't think this is indicative of a negative hit to the overall iPhone story. I think it's purely indicative that people want the Pro models, right? Not the more mediocre mid-tier models. Apple's brand value, their premium pricing, that's what really pushes people to them instead of the Google Pixel or Samsung. So like you said, I think it's Pro versus Plus, not Apple versus Google.
Real quickly, Mark, we only have 30 seconds here. I saw you tweet something about the new iPads that were announced today, and you had a similar comment here about the Pro model and why the iPad Air is still sticking around.
Yeah, I think that the new iPad lineup is kind of bizarre. I think there's a lot of overlap. I don't think the iPad Pro improvements are significant, but I think this new entry-level iPad for $450 is going to be a hot seller, and it's really going to cannibalize the more expensive iPad Air. So basically the exact opposite of what you're seeing with the iPhone.